Hi, my name is Kingsley, and today I'm going to talk to you about teaching and learning with internet tools. Before we begin, we would like to look at the outline of the presentation. We'll focus on what technology is, and we'll also get to understand what it means to teach and learn using internet tools, and how to use internet tools and resources. Learning tools, conclusion, and reference. As we proceed, we'd like to get this quote from Albert Einstein and Mahatma Gandhi. Said, "We cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we used when we created them. And you must be the change you wish to see in the world." Now, what is instruction and learning? Generally speaking, there are two important statements about learning and instruction. One learns by doing something. That's more psychological and intrinsic in nature. Two, one learns by pursuing an instructional goal. That's more educational sciences. What is technology? Technology refers to the collection of tools that makes it easier to use, create, manage, and exchange information. Technology is just a tool. In terms of getting the kids working together and motivating them, the teacher is the most important. Bill Gates, 2010. What is the internet? The internet is a worldwide computer network, a decentralized and democratized access to knowledge bases in ways that used to be impossible. It democratized pedagogy because it deals with evidence from a variety of sources to give voice to a range of human endeavors. That's Butte, 1992. What is internet tools? Electronic instrument based on internet technology with which parties can interact. Example, intranet and extranet, web page, email, video conference, and discussion groups. I will focus on learning theories. The first of which we'll focus is behaviorism. In a behaviorist view, learning can be defined as something that occurs when a learner acquires a capacity to do something. The designer must provide the conditions for this process. And in the case of the course engineering and creating a learning environment, it is very important that we focus on the right learning theory to enhance proper teaching and learning. Ozubels, 1963, postulates that instruction of verbal information should start with general knowledge that submerges content presented by some successive differentiation. The most general ideas of a subject should be presented first and then progressively differentiated in terms of detail and specificity. More generally, instructional materials should attempt to integrate new materials with previously presented information through comparison and cross-referencing. Ozubels, in contrast to behaviorism, deals with more differentiation and patterning knowledge based on students' potentials and students' needs, rather than a general teaching and learning strategies. Boomer, 1966, inspired by Piaget, focused on how people construct new knowledge. His constructivist approach, thus discovery methods and intellectual stages, still inspires current theories. Instruction must be concerned with the experience and context that makes the student willing and able to learn, thus the student's readiness. Ausubel's assumption theory was concerned with how individuals learn large amounts of meaningful materials from verbal, textual presentation and setting. Thereby, in Ausubel's case, instruction should start with general knowledge that submerges content presented by successive differentiation. The most general ideas of the subject should be presented first, then progressively differentiated in terms of details and specificity. Now let's look at teaching and learning strategies. How can we have the learner use an appropriate learning strategy? In some learning environment, especially the fully computer-based ones, learning and teaching strategies are integrated into its design. In others, they are delivered apart. Teaching strategies. Instruction must be concerned with the experience and context that makes the student willing and able to learn. Readiness. Instruction must be structured so that it can easily be grasped by the student, that the spirit organization of the curriculum. Instruction should be designed to facilitate extrapolation and or filling gaps, going beyond the information given. Now, application. How do we apply various learning theories and learning environment to create meaningful learning experience for today's students? So the World Wide Web, in conjunction with external local or server-side clients, offers a lot of possibilities for K-12 education. These are a few examples. Distribute educational materials, text and programs. To provide curricula and guidance to lessons and exercise in hypertext format. Implement collaborative work. That's dynamic hypertext, news-like conference system, co-writing. Implement jigsaw puzzles, questions and answers, test scheme and bloom type of learning. Interface to local clients, that's stimulations, programming environment, tutors, etc. And types of web learning environments. We have program instruction. This takes little step-by-step transfer of content. And we have computer-assisted instruction. This has to do with drills and tutorials. Internet, intelligent computer-assisted instruction. That's ITS tutorials. Computer-based learning, that's more stimulation, hypertext, and microworlds. Intelligent learning environment, that's microworlds plus tutor, helpers, experts. Cognitive learning support environment has to do with some hypertext. Examples of web learning activities that can be found on the World Wide Web. First, let's look at cognitive learning support environment. A good web learning activity could be FunBrain. It's a vibrant and intuitive website full of rich learning content for grades K to 8. While it doesn't cover a wide range of subjects, the basics are presented well. What it lacks for subject range, it makes up for in grade range and original content. FunBrain offers interactive flashcards, newsletter, and links to teachers' resources. And let's look at computer-based learning. A good example is PBS Kids. It's an incredible, rich, and vivid site with focus strictly on game-based learning. Featuring both original games and those based on popular PBS series, the site demonstrates a good balance between games that solely serve to entertain and those with educational value. The site takes a step further by allowing students to create their own virtual avatar. Intelligent learning environment. When we talk about Smart Exchange, it's a website where educators can download a plethora of interactive resources. The site provides games, lesson plans, even virtual workspace templates to facilitate interactive learning. The website itself is stark and simple, which makes it easy to navigate. Educators can download and share resources easily. There's a community section to facilitate collaboration between educators. Now, in conclusion, teaching and learning involves a learning environment. It is not good enough to hyper-testify a test or implement form-based tests. Good web-based courseware is more global in design. Not everything must be built into HTML or server-side script, but some more instructional tactics and strategies, as well as learning strategies, have to be put upon the learner or communicated to the learner. Last but not least, student needs assistance and very often cooperation with other learners. Delivery of instructional tests, multimedia, and hypermedia has to be structured according to pedagogical and learning strategies. These are my references. Thank you.